Welcome back to the Stanford Cardinal Dynasty, where today we get a rare chance at an in-season revenge thanks to a file corruption. Today we face Washington State, an opponent who really wiped the floor with us before our original Stanford file got corrupted. And in an even more rare occurrence, we're coming off a big win, taking down formerly 18th ranked Utah Utes 2017 at home. Now this was a gritty win for us. Ashton Daniels only 51% completion. Running the ball, we averaged less than 3 yards per carry. The only real standout was Alik Ayomanor, who had 3 catches, 95 yards, and the freshman in Bryce Haddad got a clutch touchdown. But really, for both teams, it was a defensive battle. Tafiti led us in tackles. Roseboom, another true freshman, 3 TFLs, 1 sack. He was the Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Week. And with that win, not only did we pull ourselves out of bottom place of the Pac-12, we jump Washington State as well. So today will be a battle to one stay above them. But if we manage to get that win, well, perhaps we could find ourselves potentially moving up to around mid-table. As for Washington State, they've only won 1 of their last 4 games, and that includes a 41-13 loss to currently 6th ranked Boise State, who also happens to lead the Pac-12. John Mateer at quarterback, 21 touchdowns to only 4 interceptions, 63% complete. At running back, you have Javensky Schlenbaker, who is averaging just under 5 yards per rush. Though Dylan Payne has also had a really good season with his limited touches, 6.3 rushing, 3 touchdowns. Receiving, they really spread out the ball. There's not going to be one guy in particular to keep an eye out on, though Carlos Hernandez, the junior receiver, does lead them in touchdowns. Defensively, Hudson Cedarland, the linebacker, leads them in tackles. TFLs, they don't really rack up too many. Malachi Rice, the redshirt freshman, leads them with 3. Sack-wise, you have Dejon Doss, who can get back to the quarterback. But with only 5 games left in the season, we essentially have to win out if we want any shot at a bowl game. So let's get ready and try to put together our first win streak. So with all that build-up, let's get on out here, ready to play. As Wazoo kicks this game off, we got Joshua set back to return, and return he will. Try to slip the first. We'll get us set up at the 21 for the offense to head on out. Daniels, 11 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. At times, he's looked like a really good quarterback. At other times, not so much. Need consistency to finish off this season. As we start with a run, it's Irvin slipping a couple tacklers, though a flag is down early. And they'll call holding on the true freshman center. So 1st and 20. As we set up a wide receiver screen here, it's Haddad, who will pick up that lost yardage, make it 2nd and 10. And that play just so happens to also be the 100th passing completion for Ashton Daniels on the season. So again, he showed some promise to his senior season. He needs to come out here, finish strong. 2nd and 10. As they go with a check down here to McCoy, the tight end. He's gotten a large volume, especially as Coach Barrington has tried to rework the offense. Getting the tight ends back involved here at Stanford is pretty big. Down the middle goes Parrish, who will pick up the first down. Good start to the drive so far for the Cardinal, having to work back from the early penalty that put him behind, and throwing out of the sack is Daniels. Credit that rush to Troy Elder, the DT. Number 56 as 2nd and 10. They go back to Irvin. Good cut down the middle, and he will pick up the first down. So far, some strong running as Daniels is going to flip the play. Bachmeier was definitely offsides, but they don't call that, luckily, as Daniels will look to escape the pocket. Closes around him. Will end up going as a loss of 4, bringing up 2nd and 14. With a spread look, they look to set up the halfback screen, and just getting the block, staying on his feet, Parrish, but he is completely confused. He definitely lost track of where he was. It'll be a loss of an additional 3, setting up 3rd and 17 for Daniels, and perhaps a false start No, they actually get an encroachment on the end, so it'll make things a little bit more manageable here. 3rd and 12. Daniels again gets someone to jump, though they don't call the penalty. It's downfield for Ayomanor off the fingertips. After a promising drive, Cardinal will have to punt this one away. Flintoff trying to down him inside the 20. Morris gets blocked up, but still will get the tackle at the 23. Overall, a promising start there from the offense. Penalties definitely got the best of us, a couple bad missteps. Let's see if the defense can step up and have a complete drive here. A 3-and-out would be fantastic as they check down to their own tight end, who spins off of 1 and will pick up 9. Now, as mentioned earlier, before the file corruption, we did play this Wazoo team, and we just simply struggled to tackle as Mateer dropped loss of 1. They'll end up going hurry up off of it. But Mateer kept it on that read option. He didn't scramble too much the last time we saw this team. See if that remains the case this time. Down the middle is Matt Rose, and indeed, it will be a 3-and-out here from the defense. Overall, though, seems like Stanford picking up exactly where they left off last week. 1st and 10. Going back to the running game, Parrish will squeeze out about 1. He is a redshirt freshman running back for this squad, again seeing a lot of rotation at that spot. As it's all receivers out here, a little bit behind, but it does find Bachmeier, who slips the same tackler twice. With that, he sets up the Cardinal with a 3rd and 1. Hard count. Again, we get a defensive lineman to jump. This time it's on Elder. The best yards are always the free yards. So 1st and 10 as we're now into plus territory. Daniels has 2 tight ends to the left-hand side as they go play action. He gets this one out to another true freshman in Buck, who will pick up 2. In the Stanford team, a very young team, only relying on a few seniors to actually play out there. Most of them are freshmen, redshirt or true, as Irvin couldn't squeeze it. He definitely is not the most sure-handed of the running backs. Parrish is that guy, which is why he's out here for 3rd and 8 as we go 2 spread either side. And under pressure again, looked like he wanted Bachmeier. Back-to-back drives for the Cardinals stall out. Back to Wazoo as they start with their own 2 spread. Mateer looking to hand this one off as Schlenbaker will end up picking up about 3. Now they are playing a faster style offense. They don't go into the huddle very much. Trying to use that to open up the running game here. Good tackle, Cooper. Our left tackle has given up the most amount of sacks for their offensive line. Expect Cooper to have a big game as Schlenbaker finds a little lane. And that lane will give him enough for the first. It's the first for Wazoo on the night. And will send us to the end of the first. The Cardinal have looked to be the best team out there, though it's not separated by much, as we still sit 0-0. As Wazoo starts again with the run, and they do give them the first. That one very close, but they will give it to the home team. The 1st and 10 at the 42. Keeping with that hurry-up offense. Bunch goes to the left as they look for the RPO quickly, finding one of their tight ends, I believe. 87 is a big boy. Imagine that he is indeed a tight end, as he does go down the line on that left-hand side. So they got 87 and 82. 2 receivers go to the right. As Mateer making changes in the backfield here. They're taking their time despite running a hurry-up offense. Letting things develop, and they find their 2nd tight end. So far, seems like their offense fitted toward tight end and running. Keep an eye on that as Schlenbaker once again finds a nice lane down the middle. We are relying on another true freshman, Howerton, to help stuff the run. We're going to switch around Ume and Roel a little bit. Both have some pass rush ability as they dump this one off through the hands of Schlenbaker. Both offenses have shown the ability to move the ball. It's just finishing drives that has been the issue. Pass rush and caught. Strong hands from number 8. That is Hernandez, who does lead the team in touchdowns to go back to the running game. Only a gain of 1 and continuing with the hurry-up style here. As they will end up sending 2 to the right-hand side. They have Hernandez go play tight end. Hand it off, getting by Rose initially, leaving a 3rd and 4. Defense having to change up their look a little bit here as they go with a draw. Good cut from Schlenbaker and denied the first by inches. Wazoo will end up trotting out the field goal unit then to take a lead here in the second quarter. Taking their time before they snap it, but right down the middle. Leota puts the home team in front 3-0. Now it's time for our offense to get going as we had a good return starting at the 36. Looking for a rollout. Getting the ball to the sitting underneath corner. That ball came up about 8 yards short. And I think Daniels just as confused as all of us on how that ball did not find his wide open receiver. With a 1st and 10, Wazoo trying to widen their lead. Here comes Cooper. Big sack there for the senior on Mateer, dropping him back towards midfield with a 2nd and 19. They go spread wide, 3 receivers to the left, looking for the deep in, and they find it. Big strike to regain all the lost yardage plus some. See what Stanford looks to do here, with it being a 3rd and short as they bring the blitz. Schlenbaker down the middle. That's been the problem for the Cardinal throughout this season. They put themselves in good positions. They're just not quite finishing. Good catch on the outside. They've also struggled when it's come to teams who've run hurry up, just switching up their formation, their play calls as well. Good blocking there from Hernandez. Schlenbaker down to the 5. It's a good thing for us that we've got a pretty good tackler there in camp. 1st and goal, they go read option and can just trot on in. Great blocking on that left-hand side, washed it all down as Washington State takes a 10-0 lead. After seeing virtually nothing from either offense. Now a big strike on a couple different plays here has the home team well in front as we get a interesting pass. Ayomanor definitely makes the most of it. Luckily, though, the guy across the middle did not see that. As we go 1st and 10, hand this one off Parrish, who will find one. A few too many short runs in this one. I'd prefer at least 3 per. We're finding a lot with 1 or 2. As Daniel steps up, finding a lane down the middle. Good blocking from the tight end, and he gives himself up at the 35. Big play there from our QB to send us inside the 2-minute mark. Not a 2-minute warning. Found that out last night as we get another guy to jump. 2nd on the day for 56. But in college, not called a 2-minute warning. It's a 2-minute timeout. 2-minute warning strictly for the NFL. As Daniel's making a change here, he's got 2 to the left, or 2 to the right-hand side, 1 to the left. Stepping up in the pocket, he will look to scramble again and take contact from behind by getting his team down to the red zone, trying to answer back after 10 straight points here from Wazoo. A little pressure down the middle and having to bail out, throw out. Looks like the ref will say that the tight end was in the area, so not intentional grounding. With 2nd and 10, we go to the running game, and Irvin, again, just a gain of 1. Cardinals started this game, definitely seeing a lot more success in the rushing game. Not so much now. 3rd and 10, though. Looking for the pass across the middle. Ayomanor picks up the 1st. Great read there from Daniels under pressure, as it looks like he's making a change here. With a spread look, 2 to the right-hand side, though 1 comes in motion is Borden. 1st and goal. Daniels, he'll step up with open lanes. 2 quarterback rushing touchdowns in this one, 1 for each team. And prior to halftime, Stanford bites into that deficit, making it 10-7. But leaving just about a minute on the clock. Still time here with 3 timeouts for Wazoo to try to make something happen. Over the Stanford defense to look to do the same. Pass to the outside is caught. 1st timeout called. Wazoo having to call that timeout as they were not given the 1st down. 2nd and inches, sticking with a spread empty look as they'll go to the flat for their tight end. A whiff on the initial tackle. Rico Cote, another true freshman at linebacker for the Cardinal, will bring him down. Sticking with spread empty still here. As we get pass rush, it is Howerton, the other true freshman. Stanford's got a bunch of them, looking for one of them to force a turnover. And with the 2nd timeout called from Wazoo, they do face a 3rd and 6. Get a stop here, leave some time for our offense to try to level the game at the least. As there's time to try to find a throw to Feedy, though. Eventually finds his way back there. It will be a punt. And it was not a very good one either. We start at the 34. Make that the 29 as now our tackle jumps. And now both sides getting called with that penalty. As we will come out instead then, flipping the formation, 3 go to the right-hand side, leaving Manor alone to the left. Having to step up in the pocket, ball pops out, but quickly jumping on it is Pale. And a timeout called by the Cardinal. 25 seconds left here. We got a 2nd and 13. Off coverage for the defense. Again, not getting the call, as this one is out for Manor, who gets the grab despite the booming hit. Second timeout called in field goal range. Big play there as a senior quarterback finds his junior receiver. Now 2 to the left-hand side, 1 Borden to the right. They look to go with a check down play. Not going to get much. Final timeout called. They're getting quickly back to the field here. That means that they got to get a play to the end zone or out of bounds. Can't miss out on the opportunity to tie this game. But it looks like that's exactly what's going to happen as Daniels double clutched it. Or actually, they'll get the field goal unit out there in time. But rushing the freshman, he missed wildly. And that's how we go to halftime. Definitely a little bit of panic there from the special team unit. Cost them a chance to tie this game. Daniels again double clutched it. If he let that one rip, worst case, it's knocked away. Best case, it's a touchdown, and we're tied here at half. But instead, Wazoo holds on to that lead, starting on offense. Schlenbaker down the middle, and finally the defense stuffs it. But hurry up, they're going to get right back to it. A great way to try to keep that momentum off the defensive side is by keeping them running around. 2nd and 8. They go 2 spread either side. RPO all the way outside. Rose, I believe that was, misses the tackle. 12 still running. Getting down to the opposite 45. That was where in another universe, this Cardinal team struggled. Too many missed tackle opportunities. As it's 1st and 10, finding the drag to their tight end, who takes a big hit from Sumlin. They're definitely seeing a lot of success with that quick pass game. A little bit of some RPO mixed in as well to keep the running game involved. As they do hand it off here, Rose chops him out at the knees. But for the most part today, Wazoo keeping their plays short. Not really looking to extend the field much. See if Stanford makes any adjustments, and you could ask for a pass interference there. And honestly, probably should have been called. Fraustos Ramos got a little too handsy on that receiver. Running game, Schlenbaker down the middle will end up nearly picking up that first down. 3rd and 2. As the defense shaking up their line a little bit here, expecting the run. They go to it. Coach slows him down. Rose to help clean it up. Defense will hold. Once again, forcing a field goal attempt here. So we'll keep it a touchdown game. About a 45-yarder for Leota. And his kick is perfect. A far cry from what Stanford's freshman did to end that first half. 13-7. Though again, still a touchdown could take the lead here as Irvin looks for a run. Again, it's just for 1. Every yard not passing has been a struggle for majority of this game. As they set up a halfback screen, Parrish again just gets 1. Every other position group finding yards in chunks. Just not any of the running backs. 3rd and long here. As Daniels trying to extend the play. He looks downfield for McCoy. What a play. A little bit of backyard football. Nice loft there from Daniels. He threw an interception on a similar type pass earlier in this one. Haddad on the screen. Picks up 5. And this offense has definitely started to find their groove the last couple weeks. Look to improve upon that and start to put some more points on the board would be big. As Manor deep downfield on the comeback sets the Cardinal up at the 35. With 1 receiver spread either side, 2 tight ends to the left. Again, nearly getting someone to jump. Having to dump this one off to another tight end, and he's wrapped up for a loss. Though considering the initial rush, a better loss than what it could have been. Back to the tight end screen. This time we get a block. Parrish in open field. Gets the juke. He's down at the 10. Slips another and dragged down at the 2. Cardinal goal to go. It's been a lot of work to see a running back make a play here. Now they bring out 3 of them. including one of them being a fullback. As they go wing T, Lucas twisting into the end zone. They say fullback touchdown. We'll see if a second look comes in from upstairs, but for now, Cardinal have an opportunity to take a lead with that PAT. And the celebrations confirmed upstairs. Stanford indeed takes a 14-13 lead. Now, can the defense hold it? And can the offense build upon it? Well, they get by two guys. It's a foot race, and it will not last long. Neal, one play, wide receiver RPO. The speed separates. But the Cougs are not happy with just that. They're looking for a 2-point try here to go up a full touchdown. As they got the drag, Roseboom lays the boom to jar that one free. And now that it seems, at least that the offense knows how to move the ball, can they go down and retake that lead? 19-14. As Aoman are in motion, he'll turn it into a jet sweep dive and pick up 6. Just got to find any way to get these running plays to work. Bachmeier to the outside and caught. Daniels just able to get that ball there in time. 1st and 10 just by midfield. As they'll go with a play action roll. Fleming checks in at tight end, but they go to the opposite side, and Buck on the late release spun down, gain of 5. Stanford trying to throw everything they have here at the Wazoo defense, as Daniels is making a change here. In shotgun, one receiver either side. Under pressure, throwing this one cross-body and out of bounds. We've seen him try to force plays in situations like that. It's cost his team a lot of turnovers. Trying to correct that. 3rd and 5 here. Daniels will step up and take the contact to ensure the first down. And that is where we hit the 4th quarter. 19-14, Wazoo is in front, but this one's shaping up to be another good game. As we start the 4th, it's with a run. Irvin, you guessed it, gain of 1. Definitely appears like the offensive line will need to be a focus come the offseason. 2nd and 9, Daniels looking for a pass. He goes quick to the tight end in McCoy, who shakes loose but loses all forward progress. So 3rd and 9 then. With 7 minutes left, got to make sure you get at least the first down. 2 spread either side. Hard count again. Get someone to jump, but the ref's not calling it, as they called it much earlier in this game. Daniels picking up the first down with his legs. Gotta love how he's kept these drives alive. As they go slant, that ball's into the turf. Perhaps all that running kind of messing with the throwing here. 2nd and 10, they go play action. Rolling again, though the safety crashes, and Daniels, well, he gets the completion. I think he threw that past the line. Well, it was half a really smart play there from Daniels. Ends up being costly. 3rd and 13. No one jumps this time on the hard count. As it's out to Haddad, it's through his hands. And with a 4th and long, you got to send out the field goal unit here. Trying to correct his mistake from earlier. This time it's good. ETN. And Stanford will narrow this deficit. 19-17 here. Just under 6 minutes left. Starting deep in their own territory, Wazoo, just 1. We'll see if they look to change up their offense at all. Neither team really finding a whole lot of success offensively, but it's been a pretty clean game. The redshirt freshman camp nearly changed it there. 3rd and 9. Couldn't find the diving interception. Spread empty here for Matier, who goes to Ramos, and he drops it, but it's a stop from the defense. Matier very lucky he didn't find interception 5 on that play. Stanford start at the 46. They go with a spread look, and they go RPO. They hand it off. Parrish is gaining much more than 1. Gain of 9. Sets him up with 2nd and inches. As Daniels looks to keep it, he gets swallowed up. 21. Great play there from their right end. Not only was battling the block, he also made the tackle. It's a loss of about 2 yards, leaving 3rd and 3. Daniels will look to check this one down. Borden, he gets his first catch of the game. As we move inside, 4 minutes left, Cardinal have to start thinking about draining clock as well. As Irvin this time, he busted to the outside, and a flag is most likely bringing this one back. I was thinking that was a pretty wide open lane, considering how this game has gone so far. 1st and 17, they go with a very wide spread here. They get it out to Haddad, who shakes one, get a little burst of speed to pick up the lost yardage. Not as good as it would have been with the initial rush, but 2nd and 7, much more manageable here, as Stanford indeed is letting that clock roll. Inside 5 seconds with that play clock. Then, looking towards the side here, big catch. McCoy went up for it. And now approaching the 2-minute mark, Stanford goal to go. As Daniels wide open, he takes it again. Stanford takes the lead. 2nd rushing touchdown on the day for Ashton Daniels. He's kept his team in this game with both his arm and those legs. Now it'll just come down to the defense to make the stops we need. 2:12 left. Both teams have 3 timeouts in college ball. This is a lot of time, and it gets picked by Sumlin. First big play for the redshirt freshman has his team down to the 2 to go up 2 scores with just about 2 minutes left. Mateer got away with 2 near interceptions on the previous drive. That one could be the most costly. Daniels and the offense. Irvin, gain of 1, not 2. Breaks that streak, but we do finally hit the 2-minute warning as the offense will keep going here. Just a yard away from a 2-score lead. Daniels hands it off again. Parrish with the slit back, doesn't find the end zone. So 3rd and goal it will be. With a tight shotgun look here, Daniels hard count, no one jumps. As he keeps it, he pushes down to the 1. And Stanford will end up taking the delay of game to get a better angle here on the field goal attempt. ETN right down the middle. It's an 8-point ball game. That does not put this game away. A touchdown and a 2-point could tie. But the last time the defense took care of business, the 1-play pick. Mateer, can he lead his team down the field? Under pressure, Cooper, not a sack. They say the arm was moving forward. Nearly a sack fumble on the first play. Again, we talked about earlier, the left tackle has given up about a sack a game this year. Pass to the outside, bring him down in bounds. Great job from Camp. They'll keep this clock moving as they go hurry up. They get 4 receivers all to that left-hand side. Looking for a quick play underneath or going downfield. Ramos tips it away. Could have tried to get the game-winning pick instead. He makes it 4th and possibly game here with just 1 timeout. Probably would be. Bracket coverage. Across the middle, off the hands, and that should be it here at Wazoo. It's victory formation. Ashton Daniels takes the knee. And for the first time, Coach Barrington has a win streak. 27-19, we go on the road. It was a good battle. The scoreline not necessarily showing how close this game was, but indeed, player of the game, 100% Ashton Daniels. He took care of business on the ground as well as through the air. When the rushing game, true rushing game, didn't have it, he made sure we had something. We got everyone involved. Defense made some plays, gave up some plays. Wazoo, they did play a competitive game. But for us, we're moving up that table. That is our quarterback right there. And of course, one of his better games would be one where he doesn't actually throw a touchdown. 241 passing, 70% complete, but he took care of business on the ground as well. An additional 48 yards, 2 touchdowns. They say he fumbled. I honestly don't remember one. I'm sure it happened though. But all in all, great game from Daniels. Wish we got a little bit more here from the offense. Parrish actually still averaged about 5 yards, really helped out by just 1 of those rushes. Ayo Manor again close to 100 yards receiving. He continues to be a very quiet 100-yard kind of guy. We spread out the ball. McCoy once again receiving 2nd again in receptions. Defensively, Rico Cote, a true freshman here, led us in tackles, tied with Matt Rose, the senior. That is really what this team is. We're very young, relying a lot on some young guys with a key couple veteran guys just to try to teach the young fellows while they're out there. Tackles for a loss, Matt Rose does lead us there. Coach Morris and Cooper all with one. Only one sack though, Ernest Cooper. He nearly had a sack fumble late in that game. And big interception again from another redshirt freshman in Jalen Day Sumlin. And indeed, we are on our way up. We jump Oregon State, Colorado, and BYU. Washington State falls to bottom of the Pac-12. And again, gotta remind you guys, whoever finishes bottom of the Pac-12, they are moving to the Mountain West. So let's take a quick look to see what's happening there, as Utah State currently on the top here, 7-2. They have a 4-1 conference record, 3-1 at home, 4-1 away, though they did have one of their losses recently. Last week, this week that we just watched, they did pick up the dub. And as we now shift our focus over to recruiting, we did have another guy choose to go to USC. So we will see Chad Berryman at some point, potentially in the future, unless he doesn't play, then transfers, in which case maybe he'll then decide to come to Stanford. Because if you did try to recruit players, they still want to go somewhere else. If they do transfer, they might still consider your school because you initially recruited them. But I expected that to happen, so I added David LeCouture last time. If I'm pronouncing that correctly or incorrectly, let me know. Now, he's definitely not at the same level, obviously a 3-star compared to a 4-star of Berryman, but both are route runners. He's out of Hawaii. I don't know if you could create new pipelines here in College Football 25, but I'm trying to do that with Hawaii. But he's got some raw ability, a lot of room to go, only 82 speed. He's not someone that I would see get much playing time until maybe his junior, senior season, but just trying to add some depth. So we will go ahead and increase the 15 points because that's all we had left when I tried to add him. We'll bump that up to 50 just because we do need to add some depth. As for the quarterback battles, well, there are 2 4-star quarterbacks who are going after Miles Farrell, a scrambler, as well as Dwayne Azuma, who's also a scrambler. We are in the lead for both of these guys. Georgia is maybe kind of getting in the race. They gave him a scholarship, but they're not necessarily really going after it. Offensive line-wise, there is Telvin Byham, who is from Cal, so we have a good pipeline on him, but he's very much favoring Boise State right now. The good thing is we are inside his top 5, as he is probably after this week going to go in to his top 5. So to try to help us before we hit the top 5, let's go ahead and max out the points here, as we do have 65 available points for I feel like most positions. So we'll tack on the extra 15, and maybe that'll push us above some of these guys and get into a better battle here with Boise State, as when we do get inside the top 5, we could look to hard sell him. As for defensive line, Keelan Levine, he is essentially our 3rd, 4th option here at DT, but we just haven't been able to hit on a lot of these edge guys where we're looking for. We are in the front for him, and he's not a bad player. He is a 4-star. He is a bust, so he probably doesn't have a good development trait, but he's coming in already with 84 block shedding. That could be really big. Strength is low at an 81, so we'll see what position he actually looks to play at. 71 speed might be someone I stick at DT, and hopefully that strength has some room to grow. As for Daryl Vildor, he is still favoring Rice, Syracuse, and Michigan. We're giving him 50 points. We're barely into the top 8, so I'm going to do the same thing as the offensive line guy, and we're going to tack on the extra 15. Now, we did add another DT, true DT, a run stopper, also from Honolulu, Hawaii. Maybe he plays for the same team as that receiver. He is coming in with an okay set of building block skills. But again, he's one who's going to have to see some development, but he does have 89 strength. But we do have some points available here, so let's clear off the 15, and we'll go after a hard sell. He is not a gem or anything like that, but he does come in with both mentals and abilities. So for a 3-star, I feel like he's pretty solid. As for the 5-star linebacker, he's one that's kind of slipped off of many people's boards. We're still in the top 8 here, but we're sitting at 2, a little bit behind Clemson. We are already going full in on him, so we just have to hope that we could look to tip the scales. But pro potential for us is a D-, so that's not very promising if this goes into the offseason, which it might, considering how much is left here in the recruiting battle. If we get a few people into the draft, that could help us out in a big way. And lastly, here we got Jermaine Hennessy. Georgia's starting to come after him a little bit here, but we're already into the top 3. Would love to close this thing out. We don't have necessarily the best motivations here, as there is a D-, but an A- and a B mixed in there, so it's a little bit of a mix. Week 11 is his visit. And that just so happens to be our next game against Washington. It's going to be a big game. They are not ranked, but they are 6-2, 3-2 in conference. Again, if we could beat them, we could see ourselves jumping above them, really climbing up the tables and putting ourselves in a more promising spot to make a bowl game. So make sure you don't miss it. Hit that bear icon on the bottom right or scroll down, hit the sub button, and definitely tap that bell icon so you're notified of when these videos go live. This series Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Madden 25 state only Tuesday and Thursday, 5 videos per week, and a big one coming up next time. Do not miss it.